morning. My name is Kate Camacho, and I'll be presenting a third of our research paper for ICS 664 Amazon Cloud Computing. Our paper focused on artificial intelligence in healthcare specifically and the challenges associated with utilizing artificial intelligence and cloud computing in a heavily regulated industry like healthcare. Um, there are very many positive influences that artificial intelligence has had on the healthcare field, including the enablement of IoT devices for disabled patients in order for them to have a bit more independence in their own life rather than having to be constantly monitored in a hospital setting or having somebody there with them to perform routine tasks for them. Additionally, in laboratory science and data analysis, cloud computing has accelerated this field, especially looking at whole genome sequencing. The Human Genome Project was completed in 2001, so we gathered a whole bunch of data about individual gene sequences of patients, and now with cloud computing and artificial intelligence, we're able to take those huge amounts of data and consolidate it and notice patterns in it to be able to further research into potentially clinically significant gene targets. Um, in addition to those positives that we've seen with the advent of artificial intelligence and cloud computing in the healthcare industry, there are also immense ethical considerations when using this type of technology to diagnose and treat patients. There's a lot of bias and discrimination currently in AI algorithms. There's not a lot of transparency in these algorithms and how machines are learning to process these data. And these are considerations that need to be addressed moving forward. Another huge consideration for artificial intelligence and cloud computing is privacy and data protection. Protected health information is, regulatorily controlled by different regulatory bodies, and currently with the AI setup, there is no ownership of the data that's put into these algorithms, so there's a concern of who owns this data that's being used, who owns the data that's output from algorithms like ChatGPT or other AI engines, and particularly when we're looking at medical research and discovery, intellectual property is a huge thing, not just for big pharmaceuticals that are looking and investigating drugs for these new gene targets, but also for academic research. A lot of our medicinal knowledge comes from academia and academic research, and the use of these AI tools, including ChatGPT, has had serious implications on academic integrity. So it starts from the inception of, is the academic research that I'm basing my patient care decisions on based on something that was generated by ChatGPT or something that was legitimately researched by an individual that specializes in that field? Then we go to actually using these AI algorithms in the medical research to find these target genes and to evaluate, is the algorithm working for us in this case, or do we need to further evaluate it? And then once patient data is actually going through there, how is it being protected? How are we protecting our patients? And is this an ethical way, an objective way that we can analyze these data? I really enjoyed researching this, and I'll pass it to the next member of our group for their portion of the presentation.
Hello, this is Cody, and today I'll be talking about my papers on applications of AI in healthcare. So to start, I'll talk about using AI as your personal daily health assistant. So we can kind of do this using things like Fitbit, which track like your heart rate, your sleep schedule. You can tell it things like what you eat, and it'll give you your nutrition and whatnot. So these are great tools for making some simple decisions about your health. So the app can maybe tell you if you have an irregular heartbeat, which would then prompt you, maybe you need to take your heart rate report, which you can get from Fitbit, and give that to your doctor for further study. So they're kind of helping you make decisions, but they're not telling you what's wrong with you. And I think that's good. These devices need to be very user-friendly, of course, so that everyone can use them. And right now, they're pretty simple. I feel like anyone can get a smartwatch and figure it out. Another thing to note is that these devices are continuously evolving. So the things that they can track and do today is not necessarily what they can track and do in a week. So that is one thing. We're going to have to keep up with this technology. There's also a big concern with ethical data handling and privacy. I mean, basically, you're choosing to give up some of your health data to these companies. In return, they're giving you some, I guess you could say, simple decisions you can make about your health. So, I mean, I guess that's up to everyone to decide whether or not that's something they want to do. I also looked into replacing your yearly doctor checkups with AI. And for the most part, yeah, I mean, you can replace your yearly checkup. You can tell ChatGPT everything you would tell your doctor, and ChatGPT can diagnose you and maybe even give you a treatment plan if you can prompt it right. The issue there is there's some accuracy concerns. I mean, these AIs are going to lie to you. They don't know they're lying, but if they have the wrong data or they're simply not understanding the question right, they will tell you a wrong answer and they'll make it a fact. And when it comes to your health, that's not a risk I think many of us would take. That being said, this is a good tool for maybe detecting simple things that maybe you don't think you need a doctor for, or even taking preventative measures. So, if you want to try to prevent something, I'm sure ChatGPT can give you some pretty good results on how to do that. But once again, there's those ethical concerns of giving ChatGPT this data. I mean, this is very private data. And also, there is a big importance on a patient doctor relationship. It's the idea that you're a human talking to a human about human issues. And so that doctor is going to have a more personal touch to your treatment. And that's probably much more important than what ChatGPT can just kind of fact to you. I also looked into using AI for identifying mental illness, and there's a lot going on here, actually. This is a big study right now. So, currently, AI is being used to augment psychiatrists' capabilities. It's not replacing them, it's just making their lives a bit easier. So, I looked into AI Berry.io, which is a company that specifically does this. So, they're utilizing AI for mental health screening. So, they're looking at things like speech, audio, visual cues, that sort of thing, to try to either get better data on these mental illnesses or help your psychiatrist give better diagnoses. They are doing a very cautious implementation, though, because of the previously mentioned issues with the data privacy and ethics. Now, what is for the future of AI in healthcare? I strongly believe that AI is going to be found in all sectors of healthcare relatively soon. Everything from diagnostics, to operational efficiencies. So I believe you'll be able to get pretty much real-time clinical decision making from AI, as well as personalized care. Once again, not replacing your doctor, but things like maybe your AI can tell you what pills you need to take today, or it'll tell you that, you know what, your heart rate's looking good. Maybe you should go to a checkup with your doctor and get yourself cleared, something like that. I think the idea here is we need to balance our AI implementation with the human element and make sure that at all stages of AI, we're addressing biases in the data and ensuring complete data privacy.
Hi, we were researching the effects of artificial intelligence and its impact on people in industry. Overall, I learned a lot about how artificial intelligence is impacting healthcare. And I also looked at ChatGPT because ChatGPT is interesting. And I was curious about what they were seeing on how it was impacting education. And it was basically saying the programs that they're utilizing to detect ChatGPT and artificial intelligence creators, that they're keeping up with each other. It's hard to keep up with the demand for each of those services. And as far as artificial impact on healthcare, it's pretty much impacted almost every industry, but it's impacted healthcare in a number of ways. I found that they're using it as a diagnostic tool to screen certain diseases like cancer and burn victims, as far as like how successful surgery would be. Doctors are using it as a tool mostly at this point and reviewing images, but they found that artificial intelligence actually helped diagnose as well as um, doctors. And then they just still have the human aspect of reviewing those test results and going further with them. It's made advancements in drug selection as far as like side effects and how it affect people. And there's been advancements in addiction as far as using apps to help identify risk behaviors and working with doctors. They use it to help fight the um, drug trafficking. There's analysis on Facebook and Instagram. They actually created a task force to help stop drug trafficking. And if controlled substances and such, if the illegal use is monitored better, then it's better for the patients who actually need those medications. I found a lot of interesting information about all of these topics. Some of them I didn't include, like they were able to perform remote surgery on a banana, and I think that has like great applications. And the fact that um, surgeons could be teaching all over the world on how to do things, and um, with the advancement of robotics and stuff like that, it's just amazing, like the leaps we're going. And I am happy to see where those things will go to 5 and 10 years. um, but if I had a dollar, I would definitely put it into artificial intelligence. It's just the wisdom to know what industry and what specific product is going to make it and what company is going to be there. Thank you.